Good afternoon, ma'am. We are from Norso and we are currently taking Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education, specializing home economics. We are all third year and I am Injurita Solinap.
I am Esparagosa. I am Gemina. And I am Detangco.
So we are conducting about our Ed 301 subject, which is about the teacher curriculum. So this is our question, ma'am.
So, first question is, how would you create a lesson plan and how would you evaluate whether it was successful or not?
Good afternoon once again. I am Ma'am Nayal. I am handling Filipino class from grade 7 to 10. So, I am teaching literature. Okay, so panitikan. So, in pertaining question number 1, how would I create a lesson plan and how would I evaluate whether it was successful or not? Of course, nowadays, the lesson plan is being prepared for DepEd. It's being prepared by DepEd. The master teachers do it for us. So nowadays, it's not really a problem on how to make a lesson plan since the lesson plan is provided for us. We're just to follow and integrate it to the students, and of course if there is some revision, if you want to input something out of your lesson, because the lesson plan that we followed in from the division office, somehow there will be a certain revision depending on the what type of classes do you handle, because there is what we call individual differences in every student. So every student, you make a certain revision out of the lesson plan that is provided by the DepEd, so that it may be suitable to the students, because the every students has different kinds of needs. So as we all know, there are the parts of the lesson plan is 5. Then so we will follow that one, and of course as a literature teacher, because I am handling Filipino, so I always teach them panitikan as a literature, as I said. So I have during my lesson that I implemented to the class or to my students is more on discussion, because as what I've said, it is literature. In a literature, you've always discussed. In my case, I've always discussed like maikling kwento, parabola, pabula. So, the type of lesson that I'm giving to them is discussion. Then at first, of course, you will see your competency. You will understand your competency as a teacher. Because at the end of the lesson, you're going to have a the result. The result of your lesson will be based on your competency. Then you're going to assess that one. If upon giving the assessment of the student, you're going to evaluate that if you've target a certain percentage of your student, that you can say that your class is successful, because basing on the competency you've target, the student was able to achieve that, and you can achieve that competency based on their assessment, and then you can check the assessment if it might be 75 of the learners are able to pass or not because of the evaluation.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am. So, the second question is, what techniques do you employ while creating your modules so that both the student and you will benefit?
What modules you are referring to? You mean the modules that we use during the pandemic time, or basing our lessons?
Basing on your lessons.
During the basing our lessons, now for now, there is a resumption of face-to-face classes, and then all the modules we are given to the students and we taught them is based on the MELCs, and there will be some competencies is being removed, that is redundancy already, and then the techniques I employ to my learners as what I've answered in question number 1 is more on discussion type, because I am teaching literature, not unlike to other teachers like at the LE class, they are more on demonstration. For me, more on discussion. Then, of course, being a teacher also, we need to determine the type of student so that we can make some differentiated instruction to be given by the students for them to learn. Kumbaga, you will not only depend to one technique. There will be a variation of technique you're going to employ in your students, and it is also anchored to your competencies because every student has an individual needs, because that's why we need to have a differentiated instruction given to them.
So the third question, ma'am, is how do you create learning activity sheets that serve as an accurate gauge of how will your students learn?
Of course, in making activity sheets that would be based on the modules. Of course, there will be a motivation. For me, I've given questions which is very motivated to them to start my class, and then on the during my discussion, I use PowerPoints or slideshow for them to understand better. And then during my exams, that's the moment I gave them worksheets. And of course, during the discussion also, I give them also worksheets for them to facilitate a learning, because not all the student can cope on what is being presented on the slideshow. So that's also what I've did, not only me but also to the rest of my colleagues, that we are providing worksheets every time are presented our lesson, for just to facilitate more learnings to the learner.
Thank you, ma'am. And the last question is, during pandemic, how did you implement your learning activities to your students?
Oh, during pandemic, it is a very, very, let us say, I must say that it's a very crucial, and you need to do some innovation, because that's the time that I've been in the teaching, and I have been in teaching for almost 10 years. That is the first time that I'm able to encounter that no face-to-face. You can present your lesson through modules, worksheets, and then sometimes we have this Google Classroom, and then with the other aid of the technology, we're able to provide them classes. That's the way how we implemented our learning activities to the students. It's very difficult during the pandemic. I must say it is very difficult, because sometimes when you check the modules, the score of the students is very high, and in particular that certain student during face-to-face is not quite good in your class. So I must say that there is no accuracy, especially in our public school. But still, we're coping to that. We able to cope that situation through giving them assessment online, a face-to-face assessment online, with the help of the Messenger, the Google Classroom, and the other one. I forgot the other one. The one that I use, that you're going to present them through slides, and you're able to encounter. I forgot that one. Sorry, nagkagulang na dyan.
Google Meet?
Yeah, Google Meet. That's a really big help to both teachers and students during pandemic time, because in a Google Meet, you're just there to present and able to encounter and interact to your students as well. Then, of course, if you can give some assessment, I give it also through online, but it is very few only, because it will also have, you're going to consider the financial capability of the students, because using those kinds of stuffs, of course, you need to have a high gadget, a high quality phone, and connectivity. Of course, you cannot do that without a high gadget cell phone, and you cannot do that without any connection of the internet. That's why there will always be a consideration concerning that matter.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything?
That's all, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
It's always my pleasure to see you all future educators of the upcoming new generation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you also for choosing me as one to be interviewed this afternoon.